Hey guys, how we doing? Oh, you're muted.
It's on. There we go. Now my audio's on. Jesus. I hate these
I
apps.
love the mute.
All right.
There we go. I think that's working now. Okay. How's it going? Is everybody as warm as we are here in Ohio? Oh my goodness. It is so warm. Lots of
100 degrees in Jersey. It's ridiculous.
Yes, and it's here too. And humid. And so
Yes.
humid. You can tell.
So humid.
Yep.
I actually went to the beach yesterday and I didn't realize how much nicer it was there than it was back home. Because when I got out of the car here, I was like, oh, it's so humid. Take me back to the beach.
I can't breathe. Yep. At least you get the beach breeze.
Yeah.
Oh man. I love summer, so I probably shouldn't complain because I can't even imagine going back to winter. We'll be here before we know it. Well, so I think I'll probably just get started since you guys are on. And the reason I am doing this, just a quick little training, is because I had a couple newer stylists or stylists who didn't necessarily feel like they were equipped to bring on a new stylist. So I have some helpful tips and hints that help me when I'm onboarding my stylists, that really kind of, make it a little bit more manageable, because it can be a little overwhelming at first. Because how do you take all your knowledge and give it to someone else, or even the opposite, where it's like, I feel like I'm just learning myself. So how do I help someone else get started on the right foot? One thing I did learn today, so I have a coaching call with our, I don't know if is she district field manager? But anyway, Emily Dietrich is our location here. I'm in Ohio. So she basically has monthly meetings with directors and above. And so we just have like a half hour, coaching call with her. So it's always very helpful. I love her. She's super down to earth and smart. So she actually shared with me that after conference, we do have something really cool coming when it comes to onboarding new stylists. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because I feel like in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have something brand new to be able to make this a whole lot easier on all of us when we're trying to work our own businesses and also get someone started on the right foot. Ultimately, I think biggest thing is the relationship that you create with your new stylist and being on the same page about what their goal is. Because you may think that they have a different goal than they might have. And just making sure you're on the same page so you can help them reach whatever goal it is, or help them find a goal if they haven't already found one. So one of the first things when onboarding a new stylist, which Marlene is getting on right now, she's one of my newer ones. She's been around a little while though. But one of the things that seems to really help is scheduling a Zoom call with your new stylist to go through the basics of everything, and you record it. And the best part about that is you can then upload it. I just uploaded to YouTube, send them the link afterwards, and they can go back and reference each of those things, because it can be so overwhelming when you have that first conversation or you send like a bazillion messages to them. So I found that this Zoom call is really helpful for me to make sure I cover all the things. And I've gotten good feedback about the fact that, it is something you can kind of go back and reference if you need to. Be like, what did she say about that? So my basic outline for when I do that is, and I'll share this with you guys, but first talk about the goal. So, why'd you join? What's your goal for your first week, your first month, your first 3 months, and just make sure you're on the same page with that. Then I go through a tour of the back office and I just screen share basically to go through the back office. We set up their first party. So I set up the first party link. So that way it's there, and any order that they place, they're going to get their hostess credits, because goodness knows you don't want to miss out on that. Talk briefly about commissions and the basics of the VO, going through business supplies and customer support, all of those things. Remind them about downloading the app and all of the training in the app, because it is really good stuff. And a lot of them are really short videos that you can listen to pretty quickly. Talk about the new stylist email that they're going to get, and the call, which is always Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. They get an email after they sign up, so they will be able to get on the call after they sign up. So encourage that. Sign up for the texting. We all know how important that one is, to know about any updates. Although lately I feel like we haven't really had a lot, except for the Tuesday trainings. And then the official stylist page on Facebook. There we go. And the link tree. So I don't know if you guys know, but I have a link tree set up for our team, and I'll actually share with you what it looks like, but it's, let me click here. Okay. So the link tree, I don't have let me click on it here quick. Okay. So if we go here, but this is actually, okay. Can you see the link tree right now? The Totally Bold Nail Squad link tree. Is that what you guys are seeing on your screen?
Yeah.
I see it, sir.
Great. So this right here, so it's basically linktr.ee/Totally Bold Nail Squad. And this has a number of helpful links, because I tried to put everything that I teach someone as they're starting in one place. So obviously joining our group, this right here, the second one is actually, it was done by someone on Amanda Sugar's team when she had her own page, but it's a really great resource. They talk about samples, where you get the baggies to do the samples, different ideas for that, hostess packets, a lot of really good information here. It's a little older, so I'm not sure if there might be some outdated things there. I haven't looked at it recently, but really the hostess packets and the samples. And then this here is a sample financial spreadsheet. This is something I made when I first started. It's really simple. It's basically in and out of your money, and you can see where you're at any given time. And then when it comes time for taxes, it makes it a whole lot easier. So they can make a copy of this. It's in Google Docs, and it will help keep track of expenses. Then we have all the Jumpstart information here, and the new Jumpstart program. It's funny how often you get asked, okay, so where's the support button? It's really funny because it's right there. I think it's just too obvious, because it took me a while to remember, okay, yeah, it's the big pink button. That's what I need to push for support. Then this one right here is the link to the new stylist email. So if you guys want to see what a new stylist gets in their email, this link will show you what they actually get. Setting up pay portal, the comp plan summary. I made a while ago, I made an Amazon list of a bunch of little trinkets and stuff that I liked to give away. And I got ideas from other girls on our team. So this is kind of fun. Even now, it might have some different ideas. I worked on it a few different times, so it does have quite a few different things there, as long as they still exist on Amazon. And a lot of the nail fee groups, a couple of the good nail fee groups, a couple of the good graphics groups, the Facebook group guidelines, VO training. This links to the branding guidelines and the policies and procedures, because it's really important for a new stylist to know the policies and procedures, because as a business owner, you can't say, I didn't know. So this is something that's really important to know. And as you're onboarding someone, it's not your responsibility to make sure they know every single thing in the policy and procedures. That's actually something that they need to learn themselves. So let's see what else. These are some videos that I found. They're YouTube videos, some of which are people we know, some of them aren't, but like, okay, how do you redeem the product credits, booking credits? How do you make a link tree, create a Google form for sample requests? How do you close a party? So it's a lot of kind of information there. And then down here, I tried to link to each of the team pages or groups that we're part of, basically from the closest to us, except for these two are messed up. Nailology should come first. It's supposed to be from the closest to us up. So it should be Nailology, Prim and Polished, Nail Bosses. Oh, that's a How to Rock Your Party and Events. That's why that's up there. And then Fancy Fingers. So this right here, even as like a seasoned stylist, this is kind of handy to have, just so you have all those links. Then let me go back to my list. So going through that briefly, how to make a sample pack, then the different groups to join, Jumpstart, the financial spreadsheet, and then just chatting about whatever they have questions about. So that's the Zoom. And again, I'll share the outline that I have for that, but it's a really good way to just start those conversations. And depending on what you kind of have to feel out a new stylist, of course, to know, okay, are they going to be someone who, I need to check in really, really quick every day? Or is it going to be someone who really just wants me to kind of check in once a week? That's a lot dependent upon their goals. So, try to feel them out. You can be there for them as much as possible, but you don't want it to be they depend on you for everything. So that's always one thing where, I always strongly suggest, hey, Google it, check on YouTube, because a lot of times when you go about doing those things yourself, or as a new stylist, you'll find more information and learn better than, if they just come to the stylist that brings them on. Then, if you guys have not, let me stop my screen share for a minute. So this right here, there's a digital version in our VO, but this is the new stylist launch guide. This is really cool. If you haven't looked at it, I strongly suggest looking at it, because it does step you through each of the steps as a new stylist as to what you need to do. It explains color 10. It has a nice compensation guide here. So going through this, maybe that could even be a second call. So you do your first Zoom, and in a week you have another one, and kind of go through this page by page just to see if they have any questions. But Color Street did a really good job with this launch guide. So I strongly suggest going through it. There's a digital version on the VO, and I can actually show you real quick where that's at. It's just in that first section of the resources, which I have up right here. So it is right here. You can see my screen there. Then what else did I have here? There were some really good checklists on Team Nailology, and I forgot to actually pull it up really quick. But if you search new stylist, Katie made some really good checklists too. And I do not suggest giving all of them this all at once. Take it slow, really just kind of follow their lead as to how much information they need. My newest recruit, she was like, okay, just let me just hang out for a little while. So we haven't even done the Zoom yet. She went on vacation. She's just kind of easing herself into it. And that's just, how she kind of wants to do it. So that's really important, to just kind of feel them out and not push for anything that they're not ready to do. Let me see, did I find it? Yes, here it is. I gotta close out that scrap. Okay, so this is some really good checklists that Katie came up with. So if you just go into Nailology and search for new stylist, this will come up, and you can share these with your new stylist as you talk through things, and as they get questions, and each week that you're working with them. I'm just going to reiterate, the biggest thing is making sure that you have a relationship and it's not just like, okay, here you go. Good luck. You want to make sure you're checking in. You want to make sure that, you don't have to be available all the time, but it is important to make sure that someone feels connected to you as a enroller, because you're kind of their first person that's introducing them to Color Street. So I wanted to keep it kind of brief. So that is a lot of the basics that I do when I enroll someone new. So I guess I can open it up to questions or concerns or thoughts, or, was that helpful at all? Let me know what you got, and I'll take a drink.
I actually just signed somebody up today. So
Yay, congratulations.
I was like, oh, this training is coming at the perfect time. Let me make sure I'm doing all the things I need to be doing.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Congratulations.
Nice.
So,
I've never done the Zoom call before. I've usually just done everything through like text or voice text or whatever. But that's actually a really good idea to just go over everything.
mhm.
The girl who I signed up before today, she actually asked me a lot of questions beforehand about like commissions and all the things. So I didn't really feel like I had to do a whole lot with her. And she's been using Color Street for like 4 years now. So she was like really familiar with a lot of things.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is definitely helpful.
Good. One thing I also found is that if there's something that someone asks, like, how do I do something, there is a YouTube video out there for it, no matter what it is. And I'll go out and I'll vet the video, I'll skim through it, make sure it actually is accurate. And because there's tons of stylist videos out there, but it helps so much, especially because a lot of people are really visual. So instead of explaining it, it's like, here's a YouTube video that will show you all of it, and you don't have to recreate the wheel and do it yourself. So it's always a nice thing for some of those questions, like, oh, well, how do I do this? Or so. Yeah, it's been an exciting month. We've added quite a few ladies to our team, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I was excited because I had like 5 girls that I've been talking to for a while.
Mhm.
And one of them messaged me early in the month and was like, I wanted to let you know that I'm signing up, but I'm signing up under somebody else. So I was super bummed about that because I put 9 months of time into her. We built a relationship. I was doing all kinds of things like sending her the information at the first of every month with the incentives are, and we were talking about it all the time. So then and she was in our opportunity group, like it was just the whole thing. So I was really bummed. And then this morning, the other girl was like, so the reason why I didn't complete my order in your pre-order was because I'm thinking about joining. And I was like, what? No, you're messing with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we actually got her set up and everything went through like just at 11:30. So we got her nail bar set up for her and she went in and ordered right away. So it was great.
That's fantastic. And she got her first order in. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was adrenaline rushing for her.
Yay. I know, right? Her first launch. It was a big one too.
She's like, I'm over here sweating. Yeah, that's me on every launch day.
Right. We're all sitting here with our phones like, okay. I'll be in a meeting and I'll have it in my lap. Like, okay, I gotta get my order.
So then there's me playing referee with my kids. Hey, hold on a minute. Stop doing that. No.
Right.
I just need to do this real quick.
Oh, shoot. I just ordered 10.
I do that in my car.
Like,
literally, I'm at a stoplight going, okay, I got to get on here before it sells out. Like, especially if it's one of those I know is going to sell out in like 20 minutes. I'm like, it's 11:30. Okay, it's 11:35. I'm at a long stoplight and I'm like doing it at the stoplights and then hit the cart. It's so bad.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've done that before too, because it's an awkward time. It's like,
it is.
It's just kind of weird. I mean, I get it that it's the morning, but and then you're always trying to think 10:30. They always say 10:30 and I'm like,
right.
I'm like, we're not in the central time. So except for one launch, I was in Texas and I actually got on at 10:30. It was weird. It was like, I had to remember that it was 10:30 and it was like,
Right.
wait, oh, I gotta go. I was like, it's now. Yeah, no, I do that too. I'm the same way.
That's
I do it
funny.
wherever I'm at.
Right. I
When
know.
my son was in school, I had he had to be picked up by 11:45. So I had that
Mhm.
dilemma, and it takes me like 15 minutes to get to school. So I'm
Oh,
like, do I leave early and sit in the parking lot so I can do my order, or do I wait, do the order, like sit in the car in my driveway and do it? So most times I would just go to school early because then my little guy would take a nap in the car, so I had peace and quiet to just do what I needed to do before I got him.
I had last fall when they released the retired sets. I was on my way in for a program for my son at school, and there's no signal like at all
Oh,
at the school. Like, okay, I need to go back out to my car. So I went back out to my car and I'm like, okay, I gotta hurry up. I at least have to get him in my cart so I can go inside and watch the program and then go check out. Just like add.
I would do that too, but now with the cart being 1 hour, I'm like,
I know.
like at least if they cut it down to 2 hours, it would have been better. But just to go right to one, even today, I normally, if I'm ordering other things besides just launch day items, I'll go in like an hour before or whatever and add whatever else I need. This way I can just add the new stuff and be done. So I thought about it this morning and I was like 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh, let me go add my items. I'm like, wait, no, I can't do that because then it'll drop out. I go check out.
Right.
God, if I didn't order it right when I put it in there, I would forget about it. Like seriously. I'm like, if I was like, oh, let me do this ahead of time, and I would totally forget. I mean, totally forget. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. And it's like, well, too late for that. Yeah, I've done that once or twice and it didn't work well.
Why is my total so high?
Are you just sitting there and I'm finally just like, okay, I'm doing it all right now. Here's my number. Just go. Just go. Or the best ones are when you actually put it on your VIP group and you say, okay, I'm going to do a bulk order and it's crickets forever. And then the one time you're not paying attention is when they're like, oh, wait, I want this set, and this set. And then I'm like, oh God, please let it still be there.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I've done that before too, where all of a sudden they just kind of out of the blue are like, oh, can I have two of this? And I'm like, that's happened like a couple times. Once with the retired sets, once with the new launch today, but it's like I'm at work and I'm not checking my Facebook.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, I go on like, okay, it's still there. It's still there. Because
Yeah.
those retired sets, I mean, that Mermaid You Look and that Glad You Camo was sold out. Like,
Those were fast.
I mean, it was insane. It was
Mhm.
like, I'm like sitting there and I'm thinking, it was like 2 hours later. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, they have retired sets. And I go on there and I'm like, well, crap. It's like,
Well, those of you who were here last year for the fall one, when was it last year when they retired like only in Vegas and
yeah.
some of those went so fast. Like they were just gone like that. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That in the
Yeah.
Black Friday one that they had,
Yeah.
the plum one. Oh my gosh. I was sitting up here. I'm up early anyway. And because my husband works the day after Thanksgiving. So I'm already up.
Nice.
And I was like, so I'm in my cart at 7 o'clock in the morning and everybody else wakes up at like 9:30 and they're all gone. I actually got 2 or 3. It was insane. I was like, yes, okay, let's order it while it's here. And then everybody else is like, I just woke up. I missed it. I'm like,
Oh, that
oh,
was
I guess I should thank my husband for that one.
That was
Because
a good
otherwise,
one, too.
yeah, I wouldn't have been. Yeah, I still have them. I've
Yeah, I
ordered
have
them.
them saved that.
I ordered them. I don't even put those in my Yumi. It's like, no. Those are not yours. They do not belong to you. So yeah, I've kind of done the same thing too. I guess the only question I can really think of is I had somebody that I've been talking to, probably, it's been a while. It's probably been like December or January. And she's a little bit older. So she has she's talked about wanting to do it. She wanted to, have a mentor that was close.
Mhm.
And her and I don't live that far apart from each other. And so I've had conversations with her. I've gone out to lunch with her. She had a party. I threw her a party And I'm looking and I'm like, I'm kind of, she's that same kind of thing. She's got a lot of personal things going on, but I was like, I'm really trying to, what's the best way to approach her as far as, kind of, this special is insane. I swear to God, if they had this special with the kit, I would have joined Trisha 6 months earlier. Like, seriously. I was like, I mean, I dragged that out forever, but I was like, and it wasn't the price. It was just, I was dragging it out. But I mean, if it was like that cheap, I would have been like, yeah, okay, I'll figure it out. Let's just sign up. I would have never been like, let me get all my questions answered before I signed up. Cause I was one of those people with the like 80 million questions. But yeah, so I'm kind of wondering, do you guys have something that, have you ever had that situation where you're like, they're gonna do it eventually, and you're kind of like, you can join now, we don't have to go 1,000 miles an hour, just kind of get this really great deal, and then we can start you slow. Because I swear to God, I mean, she had a party, it was her church friends, there were 12 women there, and I made over $300 at that party. It was insane for like an hour and a half. I was like, if just these people from church, you really need to be doing this. Like, seriously. I was like, I'm looking at her going, yeah. I'm like, no, I'm like, I didn't even have a party for the first 2 months after I joined. I was like, what? Yeah. So do you have any suggestions as to kind of, I don't want to push her, but I know eventually she's going to get there. And I really think that, I mean, I was the same way, where you kind of feel like you have to do everything at one time, which you don't, so it's like the first month may be slow, or the first couple months. Some people are like, they're gangbusters. God love them. I wasn't that kind of person either, but do you have any suggestions that might help me kind of tip her to at least join now while she can get $50 off of that kit? Cause that's insane.
It is. Have you said anything to her?
I've kind of sent out a couple things. I don't know what she has going on. I haven't talked to her directly in a while, and it's been a couple months since we met in person. I mean, we kind of keep in touch with each other. So, but I was kind of like, I'm going to send her a message with the thing, because I don't know how often she's on Facebook. Some of them are, some of them aren't, how that goes.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, I just kind of, I don't know if I have time to meet with her before that in person. She's kind of an in-person person. She's not gonna know how to do all of this. I can tell you that. I don't even know how to do all of this that well, but yeah, so
I like humor. Honestly, I like humor. It works well for me because I don't like to make people feel pressured. Like, I just remember that it's like, okay, it doesn't matter to me if they join.
No,
it matters. I want it to benefit them. And if it's not benefiting them right now, then that's totally fine. So a lot of times I'll just be like, hey, did you see this? I'm just saying, you could save a bunch on your nails. And I will even warn them and be like, I'm just going to keep bugging you every so often. So just be prepared. And just to lay that groundwork. And it's just this like joke. And a lot of times, like it does lead into them being like, okay, fine. So, okay, what do we like, what's this about? And, so the humor kind of lays the groundwork for me, but I would love to hear what the rest of you guys, what you've found successful too.
Is there anybody on?
Yeah. Well, Michelle, you just got to recruit. And I know it was kind of a pop-up, but like, how do you normally, follow up with people? And
she really wasn't a pop-up. I've been talking to her for a while about it because she buys from me all the time. So I had a party like a year ago, and she was invited to it, and she had never heard of Color Street before. So I sent her a sample. Well, she tried our sample and she was addicted. So she literally buys from me almost every single launch. She loves the product. And so I kept dropping hints like, you should totally do this. You're always posting your nail fees in my group, and you're talking about it when you go out places and people compliment your nails. So I kind of led the conversation like that. And then more recently, I was like, I said something to her and I was like, unless you're going to join. And then she was like, ha ha, wink, wink. And I was like, I'm just saying.
Mhm.
So I just kept like, dropping hints here and there. And she was definitely thinking about it because she would come to me every once in a while with a question and I would answer her questions. And then conversation would kind of, drift off into personal things again or whatever. So it wasn't like it was a spur of the moment type of thing. I kind of already built a relationship with her. So yeah, that's how that went.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That seed, it's a matter of like the first, when you plant it, that's the first thing. And then it's just kind of, little nudges here or there or reminders or whatever. But I feel like, the less, I don't know what the word is, like not pushy. You don't want to be pushy because I feel like pushy really turns people off. But if you just are like, you know what, I'm just going to remind you here and there about how this could benefit you. And, so, and then when the time comes that, they feel like, okay, maybe I do want to learn a little bit more about this, or when maybe I do want to sign up, you're the one I'm going to come to because, you're the one that like just kind of continued to put it in the back of my mind.
Every single girl under me has said no to me multiple times. Multiple times.
Funny.
Well, I did too. I mean, we all did at the beginning. I there's very few people that were probably like, yeah, okay, sign me up right now. Like
That was me.
Was it really?
I was tagged in a post one
Oh
time.
my gosh. And you were like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of cool. I love the product. And I did all the research on my own and I did all the things. I didn't ask any questions except for, okay, how do I sign up? So she's probably like, what? Yeah, it was funny. I was a different kind where it's like, okay, I didn't want anyone to talk to me about it. I just wanted to do it on my own. And so I didn't tell anyone and I just did it then. So
there are a few of you, but most of us don't do that.
Right. That's right. And a lot of times it's just that comfort level of knowing too that, okay, this person cares about me, cares about me as a person, not just they want me to sign up to be a number,
right.
So right. Yeah, like Michelle was saying, she's just has a good relationship with this person. So it eventually just happened.
My sign up story was actually, I went to Deanna and I started asking questions and I asked her a bazillion questions and then I read all the things and then I sat on it for like a week thinking about it. And then I went to her and I was just like, all right, let's do this.
I was like the person that had to have the website name, the business cards. Like I had all of that before I officially signed up. It was so sad. It was like, I must have spent 2 or 3 weeks, like getting everything prepared after we had numerous conversations and questions. I mean, I was like that person, which is hilarious because you don't really need to. I mean, it's not like, it's not necessarily something you need right then.
Right. But it feels like it sometimes.
It did to me.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay. So, but yeah, it's definitely, mine was a little bit longer, but it was that same thing. I went to somebody's party that invited me and Trisha was throwing their party. It was an online party, although I already like knew about it because I had a friend that introduced me to it during COVID and she was having a party and I just bought 4 sets. I didn't even know, I hadn't tried a sample. I looked it up on YouTube, but it was like, it wasn't like I had ever tried it. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do a buy 3, get 1 free. And it's like, and I sat on it for like 2 weeks and put it on my birthday or something. And it was so funny because it was like, and that was like probably, about a year before I did join. And then Trisha, I met sometime in the summer through like somebody that she had a party for. Didn't even know she was in Ohio. That's even funnier because it's virtual. So you have no idea.
Right.
So it was like, and we're in Michigan. So it's like, yeah, okay. And, but yeah, that was that same thing. I was on her VIP, watched the stuff, bought off the sales, did the launches, all of that stuff. And she would keep asking me every couple months or so. But yeah, it took a while. It did.
Yep. Well, it's kind of representative of like our journey after the fact too, because everyone is just so different, as a stylist. That's a great thing is you can just do it how you want to do it. And
That's a hard thing too, I would think, as far as me trying to mentor somebody, is just because there's so many different ways to do that. So at that point, I guess you just let them lead, and whatever questions they're asking, you kind of go in that direction.
Yeah.
Because
They pick the speed. I think that's the important thing is, sometimes I'm very inclined to be like, what's the word?
teachy.
That, yes, as well as like,
I am.
here's all the information.
I'll admit it.
Here's all the
I'm one of
information.
those people. It's like, here's my list of what you need to do. Yeah, no.
Yeah. You don't want to overwhelm people with too much information, because then it's just like, okay, I made the wrong decision.
That is very true. So I will reach out to her. I'll remind her again, because we've got, what is it, 10 days left in the month, or
what is it?
Yeah, 9 days, something like that. But yeah, so I'll just remind her. I'll send her like a text with the graphic and just say, just wanted to remind you that this is good until the end of the month. If you're thinking about it, if you're still thinking about it, we can still do it at your pace. But I mean, $50 off, Jesus, it's worth it just for the nails alone. I was thinking of buying one just for the nails.
Right.
That's so sad. It was like, if I could just buy one, I would have probably bought another one. Like, seriously.
Right.
But yeah, so I'll see if she's kind of thinking about it, or at least if she's thinking about it around this time. But it's a great time of year to join up. Like, I kind of joined up in February, which kind of, other than the spring launch, it was right in between all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So all those mini collections and everything had already gone by. And so I was like, and I met her at a vendor event. She actually does other like crafty stuff. So I was like, it was like, she came up to me, and she asked questions and bought like a couple sets. And she knew about it. She knew what it was. But yeah, it's kind of funny. So I was like, well, we're coming up to that season. It might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, coming up on the fall and holidays is a great time. So
let
us know how it goes.
I will. I'll reach out to her and see. Most of my other ones, they're not quite there. Certain people, I haven't even gotten to that point where they're kind of, I always laugh. I don't know. I must attract the antisocial people. I have one that she'll buy a ton from me. She doesn't do the parties at all. She's like, she's like, no, it's not my thing. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, and obviously, if you're not going to throw a party, you're not going to want to be a stylist.
Yeah. Well,
so it's like,
I mean, some people can pull it off, but you have to be pretty creative besides that then. So
yeah.
Or just
same thing. Yeah. And then other people are like, I don't know enough people to have a party. I was like, oh, okay. So
well, that one you can, there's lots of different trainings on the, ways to answer things like that help.
I tried to get them to do like a multiple, a multiple party where there's multiple hostesses, that type of thing. Because that's what I told her. I said, there's multiple ways to do that if that's not really your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like,
well, you can't push someone into something that they're not ready to do.
You really can't. So
I have a 1 minute warning because I don't pay for my Zoom. It's free. But
thanks. It was helpful. I enjoyed it. So I appreciate it.
Thanks. Well, I'll post the link, and if there's anything else you guys want to chat about at a later date, we can definitely do that too. So it was fun hanging out with you guys tonight. I know
we have less than a minute, but I do have a question. So do you, when we get off, I'll just voice text you, because both of my new stylists, the one from today and the one from a couple of weeks ago, are having problems with the pay portal and also receiving emails. So I don't know if that's like an ongoing issue with Color Street, or if it's just like
they sign up for the pay portal, go through the steps of like activating it.
Yeah, but so it says you'll